Yeah.
Okay. So, do women cheat for the same reasons that men cheat?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. When when quote unquote when men cheat, they do it because they feel they want to. Like it's in their nature to cheat. But for a woman to cheat, she has to be either emotionally unavailable for the guy, or she has to be emotionally attached with the person she's cheating with. Basically, for women to won't have anything with anybody, so emotions have to be involved. So in itself, no, they're not the same reasons. Men can cheat. Men can lose their business, lose their mother the same day, have an activity. Women no. Women need that emotional prep, except she has problems, para bonding. So don't cheat for the same reasons. Wait, hold on. I think women cheat for. I think women cheat. Should I say for emotions? Men cheat for pleasure.
Women cheat for.
Women cheat. I think women. I would say women cheat for emotional reasons. Men cheat for pleasure. So for men, it's an activity. For women, it's an emotional connection, intimacy. For some parts, for most parts, rather.
So, what's the best ways to manage mental health?
Yeah, I say okay. For most men, first of all, to manage mental health, start with your physical body because there's a strong.
Manage mental health.
I feel the best way to manage mental health is to let me give a serious thought because it was you said the best way, right?
Yeah, the best ways.
Although a man's physical health is linked to his mental health 100%. But I feel the best way to manage mental health is not get hold on. Because I'm looking at okay, how to give advice on for men to manage their mental health. Start with your physical health. Because your healthy body, healthy mind is a strong connection. But for a broad sense of it is mental health problems come a lot from attachments to ideas. If you find a way to detach from ideas, you find out that there are less mental health problems. So yeah, take care of the body, then attach detach from from large expectations. That's broad, but hold on. The best way. I have to give it a serious thought. Let me show what I'm saying first. Because by the time you have a jacked body, you can still have mental problems. What else causes mental problems apart from shitty body? Yeah, managing yourself, your thought processes. It's not best way, right? It's not like ways to manage mental health.
Best ways to manage mental health. The best ways. But I was not specific on gender, so we have to men and female.
Okay, so basically, I'll say the best way to manage mental health is to take care of the body because there's a strong connection between the body and the mind, and it's not a cliche because most people think it's a cliche. The reason that people that go to the gym have less anxiety and depression, and one of that way to manage mental health is to do things that are difficult. When you do things that are difficult, you give a sense of achievement, and with a sense of achievement, you feel grateful, you feel good, and that's how life is. Do things that are difficult and take care of your body. I think yeah,
Does that
those
apply for women too?
yeah, women,
Do
yeah,
things that are difficult.
do things that are difficult, and then let's build a career, have a baby, raise a kid. Do things that are difficult. That is where a sense of achievement comes from. That's where joy comes from. Doing things that you feel are difficult and you feel like that the end of the difficulty will give you results. Yeah. Because most sorry, go ahead now.
I want to ask another question.
Go ahead, ask it.
Okay, most females, most women, they think the best way to manage mental health is like going into another relationship after coming out from one.
No, they are running from the problems.
Okay, so it's like running away from the
Yeah,
problem.
it's like just like you know what. So if you say a woman running from one relationship to another relationship in quote unquote to manage mental health, she's running away from the actual problem. So you know what? That did not work out. I quickly need a way to distract myself. And guys do it too. Guys will like leave a relationship right now. They know that there's a problem with them. They know. Maybe because a friend has told them or the girlfriend told them. But they just quickly run into one in a way of, you know what, let's quickly mask the problem. So yes.
Is it like a rebound?
It's a rebound. So a rebound is that really a rebound? No. I just feel like no, a rebound means that something. Could it be a rebound? I'll say rather a coping mechanism.
for the
A coping
better.
mechanism. Yeah, for both. Because I feel like these days, that line, because of we have made men feminine and made women masculine, a lot of things are beginning to blur across both parties. Although, so the nature is beginning to like become warped. So I'll say yes. For a lot of people use as coping mechanism, jumping from one relationship to another, thinking that the next one will solve their problems.
Okay, this is out of the question,
Quiet,
but
quiet, quiet.
can you like give a better definition and difference between rebound and coping mechanism because they are quite similar? If you say
So I think let's look at what the dictionary definition of rebound is. Because rebound, let's Google. Hold on.
is what I think.
So rebound, to bounce back through the air after hitting something. That is, it's like suppressing something, then it rebounds. So it's like okay, well, you suppress an emotion and it's coming back. It's coming back to hit you. So when you say rebound, I don't see how it's a rebound. I think more as okay, oh, I have this problem. I'm distracting myself from the problem versus I am suppressing the problem. These are two separate things. When you suppress the emotions, it comes back to hit you. But when you dodge them, you feel good. Like they have the similar consequences at the end, but the difference is suppressing versus is like suppression versus oppression. So oppression is like this: politicians in Nigeria oppress the people, but the reason why the people don't fight back is because the religious leaders suppress the people. It's like, don't worry, they're bullying you now, but you'll be all right. Just manage it right now. So it's like, yeah, you suppress it, you press it inside. You're not forcing yourself to manage the pain. But in the case of coping, you know what? It's there, but don't worry, we'll do all right. Just kick the can down the road. We'll postpone the problems to later. Just date this guy, date this guy, date this guy, date this guy. Even for guys that are jumping from women to women, sometimes it's they're looking for something that will heal that thing sometimes. Sometimes. I'm not saying in some cases, they're looking for what will heal their inner problems. So coping mechanisms, drugs, vices, yeah, I don't know, coping
Gymming.
mechanisms. A lot of guys use gym as a coping mechanism. Instead of facing the problems or addressing it, so you know what, don't worry. We'll get that gym and forget about it.
So, what are the most effective ways to build attraction in the early stage of dating? The most effective ways to build attraction in the early stage of dating.
To build attraction. So the question now is that when you say dating for long term or dating for let's see how it goes? Two separate things.
You can never know if it's long term or let's see how it goes.
That's very frank. Most people know what long term feels like from the very beginning because long term relationships never start. Long lasting relationships they never start with all of this butterfly stomach effect. You must start with, you know what, I'm showing you what my life is going to look like. Do you buy into that idea or not? It's obviously it's not start like this, but it's like the guy who, you know what, first date, I'm trying to impress you as much as possible. I'm trying to show you all these things that I can't keep up with. That's not long lasting. But the guy who's making it real, that more, come, this is how it's gonna be, or this is how it is for me, this is what I'm working on. It's like selling the woman on the vision that don't worry, tomorrow will be fine. Right. And if the woman buys that vision that this guy is going to make it, right? If we can achieve it together, then hold on, I've missed the point. Attraction, right? For a long distance relationship, for a long term, for a serious relationship. What's the question again? Because I think
What are
I've
the most effective ways to build attraction in the early stages of dating?
Hmm. Attraction and retention are almost different things. But what I'll say is for while dating, if it is short term, it's just gimmicks. So psychological tricks for the guy. Spend money, spend money, spend money, show her that he can do some funny moves. For the lady, impress him, show feminine side, um, make him want you more. But for long distance, for long term, for serious relationships, it has to do with more of beliefs and values. What do you see as the future? What are you buying into? Yeah, that's how I see it. So there's no one direct is what I get it from is because let's be honest, sometimes we can date people and say, I know it's not going anywhere. We won't just stay here first for like some months. Then before you know it, oh, plenty, it's not you, it's me card. Oh, my boys are guilty, shower. Yeah.
What psychological factors influences attraction between individuals?
Uh these days is the five senses. Oh. For men, is what the men see determines the attraction. For the women, what they hear. That's the reason when men fuck up, men will say, let's talk over the phone. When women fuck up, women will want to make sure they're in your presence. You can see them very well. So they can, whatever they want to do, either mess up with your head or wear the most revealing outfit. Just so they can talk to you. Yeah. So it's different for men and women.
Okay. So, what are the best ways to learn new skills and adapt to rapidly changing job markets?
The best way to adapt to learn new skills. The best way to learn new skills, first of all, is to actually learn the art of learning. Most people never know how to learn. They go through school cramming and cramming and cramming, but when they are done with school, they come and learn these things. It's an actual problem for them. And two is there are things that I'll call meta skills that are the foundation for any skill you can ever take. For example, is communication. Learn how to communicate because obviously everything we're doing right now is communicating. That is either written form or what they call it, or speaking. Two is psychology. Because with psychology, you can detect the intention of people. Psychology will help you in sales, relationship. So far it involves two people, psychology is involved. Learn agency. Agency is the ability for you to have multiple skills together to fit one purpose. So I'm just giving these are like foundational skills that everybody has to learn. There's logic, there's statistics. Logic is more like to derive common sense from everything that's happening. Statistics for you to be able to read information and understand them. So I feel like these four or five things are super important that everybody has to learn. But most importantly is have the ability to easily learn anything new. Don't say because of I was a doctor, I couldn't learn mathematics. Or because I was a doctor, I could not learn certain things. You shoot yourself in the leg.
What's the key to achieving a healthy work life balance?
Whenever I hear people talk about work-life balance, what I'm mostly hearing is people don't like the work they're doing. So to them, I want to be able to work as little as possible and reap the kind of life I want to live. But the honest truth is that doesn't really exist. What you have is trade-off. Most people are working in jobs that people are doing work that they don't like, and in that process, it is damaging their mental health. What I believe is one, look at the life you want to live and work towards that life you want to live. Then you can reap the rewards. Or find a work that fits the life you really want to live right now. What that means is if you want to maybe if your dream is to be something, look for the work that will fit that something where you know that you are enjoying the process. You're not seeing it as work anymore. That is where I think people should find the balance, not trying to work as little as possible and flex as much as possible. Yeah.
So, for dating, should age really matter?
Yes, now for both genders have different words. The women, the age I would say women should date is different from the age I would say men should date. I don't believe men should date in their 20s, serious relationships, because most guys in their 20s don't have their lives sorted out, not even as close. As for the women, if for their dating, I would recommend early 20s. Even you can get it from 18 because the standard age for people now is 18. You have clocked 18, you now have extra sense magically. So for women, like I say, yes, 18, early 20s. But for men, I would say late 20s, early 30s. We can get into serious relationships. The rest are waste of time.
So, you don't believe in age is just a number?
That's bullshit.
Age is
That's
just a
rubbish.
number.
Age is not just a number. The age means a lot. For most people, it means a lot.
Okay. So, I would like you to really address the term confidence and being arrogant. It's quite
Confidence.
similar.
No, I don't think it's quite similar. It's like say when people say confidence, people assume that okay, I am confident means that there is confidence and there is non-confidence. It's like say confidence to be like a scale. How confident are you? Are you super confident? Are you are you just a little bit confident? So what I mean is that confidence is a thing that is spread across. I'm looking for the right word for it. confidence is not a yes or a no thing. Is a how much of it do you have? So the point you get in confidence that it crosses over to arrogance, where you feel like you can do what the fuck you want to do without repercussions of it, or you feel like you can do it. Let me see. What is that line between confidence and arrogance? It's a line. So I would be like extreme confidence can lead to arrogance. Extreme confidence can lead to arrogance. So yes, they're not the same thing. It's like saying hot water versus the water that can burn skin. The water in this vacuum is actually hot, but won't burn my skin. So it's same as confidence and arrogance. Arrogance is the extreme version of confidence. Put it that way.
That's like a thin line
It's
between
a
the
very
two.
thin line. The very thin line. It comes when and we see a lot of guys who rise to the top because they're at the top. They forget that anything can happen. So extreme confidence kicks in, and before you know it, they are shocked that okay, what the fuck just happened? So yes, arrogance is the extreme confidence.
Okay.
There's also delusion though. Delusion can give you confidence. And I feel like a lot of people need to learn the art of delusion.
Okay.
Delulu.
So what are the best ways to stay up to date with the latest tech trend and innovation?
Is to love the ideas. If you love the ideas, you're going to see new ideas pop up in your face. If you love tech ideas, you're going to see you see people who keep up with the AI community. I give those guys a lot of cap, man, because they are using like 40, 50 AI tools. So if you love the trends, or you love the trends, you will see them in your eyes.
Okay.
So when people are easy to catch social media trends because they love the trends of social media.
How can I use social media to build a personal brand and advance my career?
How or why?
How?
If it's to advance your career, I mean you mean job, right?
Probably like
So
you tech
no,
something.
I'm not in tech.
Eh,
So I don't post for tech. I just post to document my journey, my thought process. That's where I am, and be able to find a place to practice my ideas, to improve my ideas basically, and gather a community. So I think moving forward, content is actually the future though, because in any industry or business, content has given us the opportunity to put ourselves out there. So if you're an expert in a field, content will put you ahead of your partners who are better than you, but nobody knows them. So yes, I say content is very important because part of growth is who knows you. People who know you are more powerful than people you know.
what are the best ways to deal with FOMO, fear of missing out, and anxiety, most especially social anxiety, to be precise?
Those are two separate things. From my
Okay.
experience, dealing with FOMO is focus. What are you focused on? If you're what you're focused on and something comes to you and you don't see a need for it, because it won't bother you. Now, anxiety, social anxiety is a different case. Let me see. How do I deal with my social anxiety? By exposing myself to people,
Experience.
different people. So before I used to be like very quiet, couldn't talk to anybody, or very aggressive. But talking to people and seeing how people relate and knowing that these people are people who have interest and who have funny thoughts, made me realize that anxiety is like is a thing that you impose on yourself.
So it doesn't exist.
It does in the mind, but it's not a thing that is yeah. Anxiety exists in your mind, so you can take it out of your mind if you want to.
Okay. How can I be that person that someone that everyone respects?
To be somebody who everybody respects, first things first, you need to have self-respect. One, have respect for yourself. Two, have respect for other people. So you give what you get. Is that simple? So if you want people to respect you, start by respecting yourself, respecting others. It's pretty common sense. We know this, but sometimes we choose to, what, let me disrespect people and assume that they'll take me the way I am, but yes, they should respect me. Doesn't work. Another way to get people to respect you is become useful, become valuable. The more useful you are, obviously, the more useful you are, the more people want to keep you around, and the more you're respected. Yeah, be more valuable and know your value. Hmm. Yeah, be more valuable and know your value.
Okay. Okay. So we're going to dating stuff. Why do men often prioritize physical affection over emotion intimacy?
Come again.
Why do men often prioritize physical affection over emotional intimacy?
So most men will prioritize physical affection. I prefer. I think you're referring to sex, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most men will prefer sex over emotional intimacy because it has short term. It has short term reward.
Has
Short term reward. Most people go for what the shortest reward is. That is the reason why scientifically, if you drink soda right now, you feel good, you feel okay, you feel happy. But the thing is that because of there's dopamine in your head that comes up, right? After dopamine comes up, it crashes immediately, right? So I'm going somewhere. It crashes immediately. But when somebody does something that is stressful, but they like, they enjoy, maybe it might be a gym activity, it might be learning something, but there's a level of difficulty to it. There's a good feeling that comes after it, right? That lasts longer than soda. But you want to, you don't see the result of what you learn right now. You see the results later in the future because you learned it. But human beings will go for that thing that gives them the immediate pleasure. So men going for physical physical
attraction.
attraction over intimacy, emotional intimacy is because that is the one where they will get quick rewards from. One, two. A lot of men think they have time. I even fuck time self. That is what gives them immediate rewards, and most people go after immediate rewards over long term rewards. So make emotions go sit down first. Let's focus on ta ta ta.
What's the differences between love and a fling?
Hey, one is long. Even between love and a fling, it's obvious now. The fling is super short term. The love, although love, the definition has been misinterpreted a lot of times. Love is much more is deep rooted compared to flings. Flings, although flings can start with "I love you," but that was like a plot or a story in their head to just dash "I love you" and bang, I fling with you, and then sometimes people love, right? But after they have done the thing, they have had the sex, they may have realized that there's some level of incompatibility. Yeah, so I wouldn't really call that a fling, but if it is based on intention, fling is for immediate pleasure. Love is for a purpose.
For we ladies that we are blind to notice or see the difference between fling and love,
Mhm.
how should we? Because you guys play your card.
It's almost impossible for women, no matter how color you are, to not. It's very difficult for women to detect the male fling. What our advice is have brothers you are open with. If you really, because I've noticed that some women are down for the fling, even though they lie that he used me, some women are down for the fling. Some women say they want to be used. So that one, but I've heard of women who realize that you know what, I want to be protected. The only way you can actually do it is have either your father or your brother, somebody who you trust, screen the guys in your life. I'm not saying keep them for a job interview, but there's a way men can detect men's bullshit. Same way women can detect women's bullshit. Yes, what is the advice I'll give to any woman who doesn't want to be caught?
So how do you see teenage dating?
Waste of time. Teenage dating is the biggest. Is it big? Teenage dating has done no benefit, zero benefit, has distracted the young men. Okay, this is it, right? Let's imagine two guys, two people, 14-year-old guy, 14-year-old lady, right? There's a 90% chance those people aren't getting married. One, two, the guy is distracted. He's wasting his mental energy, his emotional energy. He's feeling relaxed. I mean, you've noticed when people are in a relationship, most people feel very relaxed when they are in a relationship. So he's not building up himself. Because while he thinks he has arrived, he has a girlfriend, he can relax in life. So on the other hand, for the lady, because of she's dating, I'm sorry, The more ladies a woman has in her past, the more she feels devalued in the eyes of men. It is a constant thing. So if we allow teenage dating and we allow a situation where men and women are testing themselves, okay, we didn't work out today, next 6 months we have somebody else. 4, 6 years down the line, they probably have like 8 to 6 partners. That alone is damaging to a woman's image. So it does zero benefit and just causes a lot of harm in the future for both parties. The men distracted, the women feel they've bonded too much. They are exhausting their bandwidth for love and intimacy. Shit. That came out that came out brutal, dude. Was they're wasting their bandwidth for love.
How can men embrace both sides of the economies of goodness and moral badness?
How can men what? That's from
Embrace,
Adam.
yeah.
How can men come again?
How can men embrace both sides of the economies of goodness and moral badness?
So anything you see as good or bad is simply society telling you that it either is good or it's bad. But one thing you should realize is men understanding that we live in a world of not good versus bad. So I think a lot of men see men a lot of people see things as good versus bad. No, it is actually good and bad. So what that means is that a man who is just good is boring. He's not capable of doing anything. But a man who has that danger, who is dangerous, but still has the good intention. So it's how do you combine the both of them? For example, is how does an introvert function? Cancel. Hold on. Let me find a different approach. We have people who are introverts. They are quiet. They do their stuff, but nobody really knows them. You have people who are and they do a lot of deep thinking. You have people who are extroverted, who are out there, but extroverts really do deep thinking. They're always out there looking for people to speak with. Bringing the two of them together in one person is the true genius. Because why? You know when to think deep and you know when to bring yourself out there. So that itself is a dichotomy. You see this a lot in short term versus long term thinking. Where if you think short term alone, your future is damaged. If you think long term alone, your immediate presence is also damaged. So for a man to be a good person at the same time embrace the bad side is knowing that something like aggression, that the world sees aggression to be a bad thing, can be used to protect your family. Nobody will be smiling while you need to protect somebody. You need that aggression to protect. You need that negative masculine energy of what? There's something called the the dark triad of men. That is the men that are more successful are they are likely to be psychopaths, right? Who happen to be with money. But the difference is that they give themselves to society, right? They have the tendencies, but they channel those tendencies to something that's good. Same thing, men need some level of aggression for them to be able to protect people. So aggression is seen to be a bad thing, but that intention of protecting people is also supposed to be there. That's why they say a man who cannot fight is not a virtuous man. He's a weak man. A man who can fight and chooses not to fight is a virtuous man because he has the capacity for danger, has the capacity for violence and aggression, but is intentional while not using it. So yeah, many to understand that. 10 minutes. Okay. So men need to understand that aggression or masculinity is seen as a bad thing. Strength is seen as a bad thing. But if you're okay, the problem is a lot of people say that violence and aggression is a bad thing. But when they realize that they need aggression, right? They need to channel aggression towards good causes. That is where the dichotomy lies. It's not about saying something as bad or as good, but if something is bad, how can I apply that thing in a good way? Like I said, aggression is bad, but people use it to protect people. Masculinity, quote unquote, these days is bad. But see what's happening when we have killed masculinity in men and now it's appearing in women. What does they say is bad again? The mind of a fraudster is bad, but guess what? The people who work at the cyber defense departments, they think like fraudsters. So it's not about what's good or bad. It is what can I do to solve this problem? What do I have to do to solve the problem? The people who are catching thieves have to think like thieves. The people who are preventing robbery how to think like robbers. So what that means is that you cannot think like a robber if you don't have that tendency. So if you see yourself having that wicked, negative tendency or that dangerous tendency, it's a good thing. All you have to do is channel it to a good purpose. And that's how people can navigate it.
So, in other words, you are saying those guys that are doing Yahoo are.
The guys who are doing Yahoo, who are doing fraud, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have it's all damaging. You are damaging somebody else. For somebody who has studied Yahoo, right, and is working for the cyber units of some law enforcement agency, is where the real power lies. Because he has a tendency to be a Yahoo person, but no, he's doing it for the good of it.
How important is it for a man to have a tribe, as in terms of
Yeah,
friends?
so basically, I think men need to have a brotherhood, a tribe, right? Because right from since the dawn of history, the only reason we survived is because we had a tribe. We had a strong tribe where we had wars to fight. Okay, hold on. Before I answer that question, I kind of realized that I remember this lie that was told, right? That the world earth was flat. So what that forced people to do is people came together because the earth was flat. Let's not fall off the earth. Let's stick together. That process of sticking together was what blew up the population. So what that means is when men are isolated, they don't have a brotherhood. Mostly see them, it's easy for them to fall into depression, right? It's easy for them to not understand what they need to navigate the world. They have zero network. In that process, they are alone. And men that are alone, it's easy for them to get manipulated because they can't basically get advice on tools. It's harder for them if they are grinding on their purpose on their own. It feels somehow. They feel like something is not right somewhere. That's where, like I said, a lot of men are lonely. And when men become lonely, it becomes difficult to even attract a partner. That's where depression kicks in. And depression kicks in, funny thoughts kick in, and before you know it, he's living on a downward spiral. So yes, having having no friends, I must say something that having no friends is actually not as bad as having the worst friends, having bad friends. That's a complete disaster. There's a saying that because why I'm like I have this lone wolf mentality sometimes, right? It's better for you to work alone than to work with fools. That's very important. But still, there's a need for men to come together. When men come together, it's easy for them to achieve things together. Yeah. That's where they should get their support from other men, not from women.
Okay. So, what are the best ways to manage my finances?
Well, to manage finances is simple. There's income, there's outflow. Manage the two of them. Aim to increase your income and aim to reduce your expenses. That's where self-discipline comes in. Yeah. That's a simple formula. There's nothing beyond, there's nothing extra. Anybody that has anything extra than that, he has a service to sell to you. He wants to help you invest your money and get his own profit through your investments or through your firm.
So, where have all the good men gone to? It's like they traveled.
The good men, the good men have been punished. The good men. But I think so. Recently, I've having a definition of what a good man is. What is a good man? Sorry, who is a good man?
A good man is someone that takes good care of a lady and knows that, okay, this is what should be done and this is what shouldn't be done, instead of being nonchalant and stoicism.
So it doesn't make you a bad man.
Stoicism towards them, showing
So
no
it's
emotions.
sorry.
Showing no emotions.
So first of all, let's even treat stoicism first, right? People believe showing stoicism means showing no emotions. Nah, that's not correct. Stoicism means that you're acting based on principles. Principles that when something happens to you, you run them through your principles first. So you're leaning more you're living more with principles than emotions. So for example, something bad happens, you're like, okay, something bad happens. Okay, it could always happen, so let's move on. So it's one thing to feel the emotion and suppress them. Not it's one thing to think them through and say, you know what, I'm living with these principles. It's like wife and husband are having an argument, right? And the man has a principle of not hitting a woman, right? He has that principle. And then she's bringing up tantrums. You look at her and ignore, right? So when she's level-headed, you cannot have a conversation with her. But somebody who has zero principles, what do you think he will do? The quickest way, you look for the quickest way to end the argument. It is mostly physical violence. But the guy who writes that his principles says that arguing with her is going to lead nowhere. So why are we arguing in the first place? We'll just ignore and move on. And we will not let that particular emotion disturb him. So I don't see that as a problem. Now, back to a good man. What did now I said a good man is somebody who takes care of what? His woman. Is that what you refer to as a good man?
Yeah, not being nonchalant.
So I believe that society has broken the idea of a good man because mostly when what he has a good man is somebody who does something, right? For the sake of for the sake of social acceptance. So he's not doing it because of it benefits both parties. He's doing it because of it benefits him. So for example, is this idea of a nice guy. A nice guy will take you out on a date, will do everything he wants to do to you. Because he thinks that after doing those things to you, you must like him back. Is that really a nice guy or not? Is that really a good man?
Oh, yes.
Sorry?
No, he isn't.
It's not because in the very end, it's a way of manipulating you. But what's the opposite of that? Somebody who knows what he wants. Like, you know what? I want you, right? So let's see if we're compatible or not. It feels brush on the surface, but that is it itself. So he's doing things. If he does anything for you, it's not because of he wants you to like him. That has already been established already. So he's doing things for the sake of okay, I can do it and I want to do it. Let me do it for her. So whether she pays me back or not, is not going to bother me. But the quote unquote, the good man that we refer to as good men are mostly men that are doing it because they feel like they have something to get in return. They have some sense of profit. So I don't think that's a good man either.
So, good
But
men
on,
too.
on, on the other part, where did all the good men go? All the good men were pushed away by feminism. Were pushed away by feminists. Were pushed away by people who attack masculinity. So when you attack masculinity, and precisely when you attack masculinity at a very young age, what happens is those men, those boys who you attacked, they never have a chance to grow. So you're wondering why we have a lot of boys that are asking for princess treatment. Because we're asking men to be more emotional, we're asking men to be more feminine, to be in touch with their feminine side. They're asking where did the good men go? No, where did the men go? Let's start with that. When you ask where did the men go, you get to realize that the new ideas around masculinity have pushed men away. And in that process, they pushed the actual good men away. I think that's the actual answer. Well, the world is fucked.
Very fucked and confusing.
No, I don't think the world is fucked up confusing. I feel like if you know what you want, if you know what you want. Sorry? What do you say?
Is agreeing to what you think.
What do you say? Who gets it, sir? If you know what you want, go for it. The problem is people know what they want, they know it, but they allow society push them away. So for example, is some people value the whole idea of motherhood. But when they consume a lot of feminists based content, they begin to, you know what, fuck motherhood. Let me go for this career stuff. Let me build my career. Now, I'm not saying women should not build their career because there are women who genuinely have friends who feel like business partners and they want to build their career. That's good. Like it's good. What you should realize is you should go for what you want, what you genuinely want. They should not gaslight, and that's the problem of feminism and female empowerment. Is female empowerment is okay. What do you want to do? Let's empower you to do it. Feminism says no motherhood, but for what? Kill the idea. Kill the idea. We have to compete with these men. We have to show these men who the bosses are. Can you see the difference? So if you know what you want, if you know what you want, the world is not complex. Now you just want to complicate your own life. Go for it. Yeah. Yeah. Most people don't know what they want. People say, you know what, I want my man to be emotional, to open up to me. But when I ask them, how did you feel when your last boyfriend opened up to you? I'll look at their facial reaction. So having ideas and having ideas that work are two separate things. Are two separate things. So um yeah. But do you know what you want out of life?
Sorry.
Do you know what you want out of life?
Still figuring.
Sorry?
Still figuring.
But why don't you like start something first and commit to it? If it's not what you want, if it's not what you want, guess what? You can always change. Your time is gone. But I feel like a lot of people have not really taken that break to say, you know what do I really want out of life? And that's why this book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. That book sold a lot of copies. The reason is because that book made people realize that they've been pursuing things that they don't really care, right? For example, if somebody cares a lot about how his kids, like a man may care about how his kids see him, right? But instead, because of society's expectation, he's pursuing money alone, not really caring about the kids' affections. Like you get. In that process, it is damaging the relationship with his kids. But somebody who understands that, you know what, I want to have money and still take care of my kids, he will find a way to rearrange his life because he has given it serious thought. I saw a post where a guy said his dad his dad refused a promotion in his office because he wanted extra time to spend with his kids. And 30 years after, his kids were still okay. The extra money, the extra salary that he could have gotten if he had taken the advancement did not matter because all his kids were good, regardless. They still went to good schools. They still had clothes on their back. They were able to eat well. But the fact that he prioritized his work, like his work was there all right though. But yet, you see, he factored his kids into his decisions of not taking that promotion because he understood the idea of what he wanted from life. Most people never do that. So a very good advice is what do you want from life, and be serious. Don't let society gaslight you. Also, for everything you want from life, there's a cost to it. This idea that you can have it all is an idea that I'm sorry, I really pity women in this context because this whole new ideas of pushing ideas on women's heads, I ain't gonna lie, it's very bad. Though. It's very bad. You can when they tell women that don't worry, things like you are the prize, don't worry, the world bends to your reality. It comes at a cost. If you know what the cost is, then the motherhood you want to go for comes at a cost. They won't tell you that. The career you want to build comes at a cost. They won't tell you that. Yeah. So figure out what you want from life.